Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
Thy land is prosperous, hail the people in peace. In the mornings light believing, keeping thy name's grace. Thy land in unity, commune to please, journeying to achieve, keeping thy legacy. Thy land of justice grows in truth, in common peace, keeping thy noble pursuits. Oh, Landova, thy beauty unfolds. Landova, thy beauty unfolds. Landova, majesty behold. Landova, blessings untold. Landova, thy blessings untold. Thy land in unity, commune to please, to please, to plead to and please, journeying to achieve, keeping thy legacy. Thy land of justice grows in truth, in common peace, keeping thy noble pursuits. Oh, Landova, thy prosperity reigns. Landova, unity sustain. Landova, thy justice remains.
Good afternoon, my beloved Landovians, and to all our international friends joining us on this historic day, the 7th of May, 2026. Just 2 months ago, on the 1st of March, I stood before you humbled, deeply honored to accept the sacred trust of this office. I pledged them that your vote would be my command, and that prosperity would run again in this proud land. Today, alongside my esteemed running mate, Vice President Dimble Haynes, whom I thank for his tireless partnership, I stand here to report on how we have set those words into immediate, decisive action. True leadership requires the courage to pivot when the laws of yesterday stifle the potential of tomorrow. A sovereign nation must preserve its security, yes, but it must never do so by sacrificing its soul or its economic vitality. Our predecessor, the Honorable President Klavinsky, understood that Landova is at its core a beautiful, experimental civilization, a rich blend of migrants, cultures, and high-functioning cooperation. We do not lose our identity by welcoming others, we strengthen it through assimilation into a singular, unifying, and prosperous whole. Therefore, to restore our traditional openness, I have signed an executive order to rescind the Comprehensive Migration Control Measures Act of 2025 in its entirety. We are immediately reverting to humane, efficient protocols that balance national security with human dignity. By opening our doors responsibly, we invite the entrepreneurs, the workers, and the visionaries who will boost our economic growth and help foster a true paradise on Earth. To celebrate our beautiful multicultural tapestry and the deep historical bonds of our migrant founders, I have also signed an executive order establishing St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, as a temporary public national holiday for the duration of this administration. This acts as a vibrant tribute to the Irish Landovian community and our enduring friendship with my homeland of Ire. But we must match our ambition with absolute fiscal responsibility. Under our third major executive decree, we are strengthening the oversight and sustainability of all future national infrastructure. No longer will public funds be allocated to unverified plans. All new infrastructure proposals will now require exhaustive feasibility and long-term environmental studies, subject to joint review by the Department of Architecture and Infrastructure and the Department of Strategic Planning and National Development. My friends, infrastructure is the physical manifestation of a nation's soul. When we build the future. I promised you that we would build homes and secure our power.
Today, I am proud to announce that the Department of Urban Planning and Development has officially resumed the Picot City Mega Infrastructure Project after a 5-year stagnation. Our goals for the Picot City Mega Infrastructure Project are as follow. Establish the new Picot City Hall, the Decennial Observation Tower, connect mainland Picot City to the Western Island, establish easy ferry access between Picot City and Ocelot Island, accommodate 20,000 families of housing and settlement, establish the Wold Meads Dam and Reservoir to harness hydroelectric power and provide clean water supply, and most of all, establish the Picot International Airport. We are also expanding our urban horizons into establishing new districts. These districts are named as follows: Deltone, Sprosk Bayside, Menamu, Woldmeads, and the rural enclave of Mackayre Glass Village, which will be under Picot Province. At the center of this revival is the Picot International Airport. Our previous administration halted this project due to structural anomalies and contractor disputes. We have cleaned the slate. I am thrilled to report that our Transportation Department has secured binding agreements with premier Swiss and Singaporean contracting firms. Feasibility reassessments are underway, and we are on target for a groundbreaking in the third quarter of 2026. Reassessments of the feasibility of the project and analysis of the project design will be communicated between the project stakeholders and contractors. To power this expansion sustainably, the Department of Power and Energy will oversee the construction of the Woldmeads Dam and Reservoir in western Picot City starting this July. This engineering project will harness clean, renewable hydroelectric power and secure a pristine water supply for the surrounding districts and villages. As we mark Landova's monumental 10-year founding anniversary on the 9th of November 2026, we will build a monument to our resilience, the Decennial Tower. This iconic observation structure, designed by a brilliant Landovian architect currently based in Japan, draws inspiration from the Enoshima Sea Candle in Kanagawa Prefecture. Resembling a majestic hourglass with a skyward needle, it will sit on a new circular public park featuring shops and a panoramic viewing observation deck. Construction is expected to begin this June. Moving on, accordingly, the Congress has passed an act to revoke the Special Administrative Region status of Ocelot Island, fully transitioning it into a standard administrative province. For 2 years, Ocelot Island operated under autonomous bylaws. While we honor their unique heritage, we must integrate them into our constitutional family. The formal transition began on April 13th, and full administrative integration will be completed by July 1st. Ocelot Island will receive standard national infrastructure, unified defense, and equal constitutional rights. Moving on to the recent executive orders I have made. To modernize how Landova conducts business on the world stage, I have signed Executive Order 2026-5A, standardizing our date formats. Moving forward, all official legal records and civil identifications will utilize the highly readable day, month, year format. For technical logs and scientific databases adhering to ISO 8601, we will align with global standards under the year, month, day format. Furthermore, through Executive Order 2026-5B, we have reclassified July 4th's Commemoration Day from a statutory non-working holiday to a national day of observance.
This ensures our productivity remains uninterrupted while we continue to honor our enduring military defense pact and historic alliance with the United States of America, even with our differences in our public interests. Moving forward, equal laws demand equal representation. The Landova Elections Commission, SELECT, has identified critical disparities across our established congressional districts. For too long, Sonoma City suffered from growing, dense populations underrepresented in these halls, while Schottler held high representative counts despite low density. To correct this imbalance, SELECT has finalized a nationwide, completely neutral redistricting proposal. This is currently heading to Congress and the Supreme Court for final validation, ensuring a fair, gerrymandering-free playing field for the 2028 elections. True democracy is born of fairness. As you can see on your screens, the redistricting has been made by the Commission and will take effect in the next year's midterm elections. Moving on, as we look abroad, we cannot ignore the storm clouds of conflict currently hanging over the Middle East. High-level hostilities between strategic global alliances have sent shockwaves through energy markets and diplomatic circles. But a resilient nation is not a passive victim of circumstance. Your government has responded swiftly, aggressively, and on all fronts to insulate Landovian lives and secure our stability. First, the Department of State Affairs has heightened advisories and is leading regional humanitarian consultations. To shield our consumers from global oil fluctuations, the Department of Power and Energy has enforced fixed, weekly regulated pricing while designing a strategic domestic price ceiling. Furthermore, we are transforming this crisis into a pivot towards self-reliance. The Department of Transportation subsidized electric segways and bicycles alongside a massive scale-up of public bus transit. The Department of the Interior is actively auditing gas stations nationwide to shut down opportunistic price gouging and limit hoarding. Simultaneously, the Department of Agriculture is injecting emergency subsidies directly into domestic fertilizer production, protecting our food security. In terms of gas price rates, the highest gas rate during this conflict was at $1.61 per liter of regular gasoline, dated for 2 weeks beginning from the 30th of March. Anyhow, these gas prices substantially dropped due to the easing and cool down of the conflict in the Middle East and the gradual yet fluctuating opening of the Strait of Hormuz. This is how we adapt. This is how we lead, dear Landovians. Let the results speak for themselves. Despite regional and global instability, Landova is holding strong and forging ahead. I am immensely proud to report that as of first quarter 2026, our estimated population stands at a vibrant 102,400. Our nominal gross domestic product has hit $1.44 billion, leading to a rising nominal GDP per capita of $14.1 thousand. Our economy is not just surviving, it is actively growing. Therefore, my dear Landovians, foreign diplomacy, internal unity, and relentless progress are our guiding stars. We do not walk this path alone. From Slovenia to Ireland and across the European continent, our global partners stand ready to support us. Let us keep our minds open, our spirits fierce, and our work collaborative. Together, we will build the homes, the airports, and the future that Landova deserves. Thank you, and may the progressing prosperity, unity, and justice reign forever in our beautiful nation. Thank you, and good afternoon, Landovians.